Hello, welcome to Financial Markets Weekly, an audio podcast by Succinct Information. This is a professional summary, free of noise, focused on facts, and straight to the point. We help you save time while covering the key events and market performance. These are the highlights from last week.
Equity markets experienced a mixed week, with the US slightly falling, particularly the tech sector, while European and Asian markets rose more than 1% on average. Emerging market stocks also saw increases without significant moves. In monetary policy, the European Central Bank surprised analysts by raising rates by 25 basis points to an all-time high. Despite the rate hike, the ECB maintained a dovish tone, as the tightening cycle approaches its peak. The deposit rate reached 4%, and the refinancing rate increased to 4.5%. The ECB also raised its inflation projection for this year to 5.6%, and to 3.2% for next year, while lowering its GDP growth estimate to plus 0.7% for this year, and plus 1% for next year. The European Commission forecasts that the German economy will contract by 0.4% in 2023. Some key data released on the week include mixed US CPI inflation, driven by higher gasoline prices due to rising crude oil. Headline inflation increased by 3.7% year-on-year in August, marginally more than in July. However, the core CPI measure, which excludes the volatile items of energy and food, advanced 0.3% month-on-month, but fell on an interannual basis from 4.7% to 4.3% year-on-year. Brent and WTI crude oil both closed above $90, a 10-month high, reflecting an improved demand outlook with China's economic figures showing signs of improvement. In other commodity markets, sugar prices reached a 12-year high in London, as demand for biofuels such as ethanol rose, competing for Brazil's sugar production. In currency markets, the dollar index gained for the 9th consecutive week, reaching its highest level of the year. The euro fell, reversing its previous trend and closed at 1.065, the lowest in 6 months. In interest rate markets, 10-year treasuries reached a 15-year high at 4.32%, moving slowly higher in the past few weeks. Notably in fixed income markets, Greece's sovereign credit rating was upgraded by Moody's to Ba1. The 10-year Greek bond yields 4.11%, compared to 4.47% for Italian bonds, and 2.67% for German bunds. In US stocks, software giant Oracle faced challenges after missing revenue estimates and revenue guidance, resulting in a 10% weekly drop, its worst week in 5 years. Oracle still saw net quarterly profits rise 56% in the past 12 months to $2.4 billion. Meanwhile, a strike by the United Auto Workers Union threatened to disrupt production at Detroit 3 plants, but auto shares of GM, Ford and Stellantis ended 3 to 5% higher on the week. In corporate deals, chip designer ARM Holdings conducted the largest IPO in the US in 2 years, raising $5 billion on Nasdaq. The stock jumped from $51 at the IPO pricing to $60.75, for a total market value of $62 billion. Japan's SoftBank will retain a 90% stake. Also, Smurfit Kappa and WestRock announced an $11 billion merger, creating the world's largest paper and packaging company, while J.M. Smucker is acquiring Hostess Brands for $4.5 billion in equity value. Next week's calendar includes policy meetings by the Fed and China's central bank on Wednesday. On Thursday, the Bank of England and the central banks of Norway, Sweden, and Switzerland. On Friday, the Bank of Japan. In economic data, the Purchasing Managers' Indicators for G7 economies are scheduled. That's all for this week. Please subscribe to the channel and help us promote it. Visit succinct.info to learn more about our subscription service. Have a good week.